Grace Millane. She's 21 years old, and in exactly 12 hours, she's supposed to be celebrating her birthday. Instead, she's walking directly into her own grave. She thought she was swiping right on a dream date, but she actually just signed her own death warrant, and what the security cameras captured next is a nightmare no one saw coming. Grace had graduated from the University of Lincoln just months earlier with a degree in advertising and marketing. Like many young graduates, she decided to take a gap year before diving into the corporate world. She wanted to see the world, to experience life beyond textbooks and lecture halls. For 6 weeks, she'd been exploring South America, sending photos and messages to her parents, David and Gillian, back in Wickford, England. Her brothers, Declan and Michael, watched her adventures unfold through social media posts filled with laughter and wonder. Grace was living her dream. On November 20th, she arrived in New Zealand, planning a 2-week exploration of the land of the long white cloud. She traveled to the Upper North Island, her Instagram feed filling with breathtaking landscapes and happy selfies. On November 30th, she reached Auckland, the city of sails. Grace was a solo traveler, but she wasn't lonely. Like millions of young people around the world, she had downloaded Tinder, the popular dating app. She wasn't necessarily looking for romance, just casual companionship. Maybe someone to grab a drink with or explore the city alongside. That's when she matched with him. He seemed nice enough through messages, charming, friendly. He agreed to meet her for drinks on December 1st, the evening before her birthday. Grace was excited. She took photos of herself getting ready, her smile bright, her eyes full of life. She sent one final message to her family, a picture of a Christmas tree at Sky City, glowing against the Auckland skyline. It would be the last time they would hear from her. The date. At 5:05 p.m., security cameras captured Grace walking along Victoria Street in Auckland's central business district. 15 minutes later, she appeared at Sky City, meeting her date. They went bar hopping through the city. At one point, they were seen kissing at the Bluestone Room bar. Grace seemed comfortable, enjoying herself. At 9:41 p.m., the final footage showed them together. They walked arm in arm into the City Life Hotel on Queen Street. They entered the elevator, heading to his room. Grace Millane would never leave that building alive. The silence, December 2nd, 2018, Grace's 22nd birthday. David and Gillian Millane sent birthday wishes to their daughter. They waited for her response. Nothing came. Hours passed, still nothing. This was completely out of character. Grace had been in constant contact throughout her travels. On December 5th, they contacted Auckland police and reported Grace missing. The hostel confirmed their worst fears. Grace hadn't returned on the night of December 1st. David Millane flew to New Zealand. On December 7th, he made an emotional plea. Please, if anyone has any information about Grace, come forward.
Grace has been missing for several days, and as a family we've been extremely concerned for her welfare. To anybody who has seen, spoken to or come into contact with Grace, come forward and contact the investigation team.
Detectives traced Grace's movements through CCTV footage, following her path through the city. The investigation, Detective Inspector Scott Beard led the investigation. His team reviewed security footage and tracked down everyone Grace contacted in New Zealand. The City Life Hotel footage became crucial. The police confirmed that Grace had entered with a man. They found more footage him leaving the building on December 2nd, wheeling a large suitcase on a trolley. He loaded it into a rental car. Later, investigators shockingly said that on December 2nd, he went on another Tinder date. During it, he told the woman a bizarre story about a man who accidentally killed his girlfriend during rough bedtime. On December 3rd, he purchased a shovel, then drove west to the Waitarka Ranges, a dense forest 12 miles outside Auckland. Police traced the last Facebook post on Grace's account. It led them to a 26-year-old man at the City Life Hotel. On December 8th, police declared it a homicide investigation. That day at 3 p.m., they arrested him. December 9th, 2018. At 4 p.m., police discovered a shallow grave in the Waitakere Ranges. Inside a suitcase was Grace Millane's body. The autopsy revealed she'd been strangled. The pressure on her neck lasted 5 to 10 minutes. She would have recovered if the pressure had been released, but it wasn't. The investigation revealed disturbing details. After killing Grace, he had taken photographs of her dead body and watched pornography while she lay lifeless in his room. His internet searches: flesh-eating birds. Are there vultures in New Zealand? The hottest fire. Large bags near me. And way to care ranges. He had cleaned his apartment with bleach, purchased the suitcase to transport her body, and rented a carpet cleaning machine. Then, within 24 hours of the murder, he calmly went on another date. On December 10, 2018, he appeared in Auckland District Court charged with murder. New Zealand courts granted him name suppression. He pleaded not guilty on January 16, 2019. The trial began November 4, 2019. 7 women and 5 men served on the jury. The defense claimed Grace's death was accidental, the result of consensual rough sex gone wrong. The 50 Shades defense. He claimed consensual choking and unintended death, but Crown Solicitor Brian Dickey systematically dismantled this claim. Evidence showed he strangled Grace for 5 to 10 minutes, far beyond consent. They revealed his history of violence against women. 3 women testified about their experiences with him, all met on Tinder. They described his preference for violent sex, strangulation, and his need to feel superior and in control. After 5 hours of deliberation on November 22, 2019, the jury returned guilty of murder. On February 21, 2020, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 17 years. Grace Millane's murder sent shockwaves through New Zealand and around the world. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern made an emotional public apology to Grace's family, saying, "Your daughter should have been safe here, and she wasn't." Auckland's Sky Tower and Harbour Bridge were illuminated in white ribbons. Candlelight vigils were held across New Zealand. The case sparked important conversations about violence against women, dating app safety, and the so-called rough sex defense. But the story didn't end there. In December 2020, the Supreme Court of New Zealand lifted the name suppression order, and the world finally learned the killer's identity. The court also revealed something that had been hidden during the trial. The murderer had been convicted of additional crimes. In October and November 2020, he was found guilty of 8 charges relating to the rape and assault of 2 other women. Just 8 months before killing Grace, he had raped another British tourist he met on Tinder. She came forward after recognizing him in media coverage of the trial. He had also subjected a former partner to months of emotional, financial, and physical abuse, including attacks with a weapon and threats to kill. The man who murdered Grace Millane was a serial predator who had used Tinder to find vulnerable victims. The killer revealed. His name is Jesse Shane Kempson. He was 26 years old when he murdered Grace Millane. Born and raised in New Zealand's Wellington region, he had grown up in a fractured family after his parents separated when he was 9. He had worked as a bartender and laborer, and had even lived in Australia for several years. To those who didn't know him well, he might have seemed ordinary, but Kempson had a dark history of lying, telling exaggerated stories about having cancer or being a professional athlete. More importantly, he had a pattern of violence against women that went undetected for years. Grace Millane couldn't have known any of this when she swiped right on his Tinder profile. She couldn't have known that the charming man buying her drinks would become her killer. She couldn't have known that agreeing to go back to his hotel room would cost her everything. Today, Jesse Shane Kempson sits in Auckland prison, serving his sentence for murdering Grace Millane and assaulting 2 other women. He has appealed his convictions multiple times, but every appeal has been rejected. Grace Millane's family continues to honor her memory. Her father, David, has said, "Grace was taken away from us in the most brutal fashion, and our lives and family have been ripped apart." Grace's story has become a rallying cry for change, inspiring documentaries, books, and movements calling for the elimination of the rough sex defense and better protections for women against dating violence. She was supposed to celebrate her 22nd birthday exploring the beautiful landscapes of New Zealand. Instead, her story became a stark reminder that sometimes the greatest danger isn't the adventure itself. It's the people we trust along the way. There are still so many questions left unanswered in this investigation. Could the truth still be out there? Your theories often shed light on details I might have missed, so let's discuss them below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to uncover the truth. Next week, we're looking into a case that's even more chilling, so don't forget to turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.